At first glance, the house on Manoa Road looked like any other in the neighborhood. Modest, sun-washed, half-shaded by banana trees and plumiera. From the street, you could hear birdsong and the distant roar of Manoa Falls. Joggers passed by. Children played hopscotch near the crosswalk. To neighbors, the Oda family seemed quiet but warm. Nooko always offered a gentle bow and a kind smile. The children walked to school every morning, backpacks bouncing, often chasing each other up the sloping driveway. And yet, on March 10th, 2024, 5 lives would be erased in the span of 30 minutes. The tragedy that unfolded inside the small home would become one of the most devastating crimes in Hawaii's recent memory. Paris Oda, age 46, was not an evil man by design. He had once been a man of plans, of goals. Born and raised in Honolulu, the second-generation Japanese-American family, Paris graduated from Manoa High School and earned a degree in economics from a mainland university. He was bright and articulate, though private by nature. He met Nooko, a soft-spoken teacher from Shizuoka, Japan, during a summer program at Manoa. In the early 2000s, they married. Within a year, they returned to Oahu, eager to build a family and a life of purpose. Their children were their pride. Sakurako, age 17, Orion, age 12, and Nana, age 10. By all outward appearances, they were just another middle-class family in a town where prices were high and expectations were higher. But Paris was drowning, and no one knew it. Around 2019, Paris lost his contract job with a financial consulting firm. At first, he assured Nooko it was temporary, but as months dragged on, his job prospects withered. He applied everywhere, from banks to small startups. Rejections mounted. He stopped telling Nooko about them. Then, slowly, he began withdrawing. He stopped checking the mail, he ignored phone calls, and critically, he stopped filing the family's taxes. Paralyzed by fear and shame, as penalties piled up, he told himself it was just a phase, that he'd catch up once he got back on his feet. But the feet never found firm ground. By late 2023, Nooko discovered the truth. Their savings were gone. Their credit card debt was deep. Their mortgage was behind. She tried to help. She offered to take on more tutoring clients. She asked him to seek counseling, maybe to talk to a bankruptcy lawyer. But Paris refused. "I'm not going to let them take everything," he said one night while pacing the kitchen. "We're not there yet," Nooko pleaded. "There's still a way forward." "There isn't," he whispered, as his eyes were far away. "You just don't see it yet." In January of 2024, Paris sent a cryptic, bone-chilling message to his cousin in Maui. "If something happens, please forgive me. I don't see another way out." In February, he tried and failed to legally purchase a firearm, citing home security. The background check stalled due to incomplete tax information. He tried another shop, denied again. By March, he stopped sleeping. He grew agitated. Neighbors noticed him sitting on the lawn for hours, chain smoking, staring at the driveway. One tenant overheard him muttering to himself in the backyard. Nooko, worried but unaware of the depth of his spiral, planned a small family outing to the beach for that Sunday. She laid out swimsuits. Sakurako had invited a friend, and Nana was excited to collect seashells. But Paris was already planning their deaths. At 8 a.m. on March 10th, Nooko began preparing breakfast. The children were up, brushing their teeth, and packing towels and toys. Paris entered the kitchen without a word. In his hand, a paring knife, one they'd used hundreds of times, before peeling mangoes and chopping bok choy. The attack was fast, brutal, and silent. Police believe that Nooko fought back. Her arms bore deep defensive wounds. But she didn't scream, perhaps trying not to alarm the children. By the time Sakurako entered the hallway, it was too late. One by one, Paris struck down his children. Orion tried to run. His body was found near the back door. Nana, the youngest, hid under a blanket on the couch, clutching her stuffed animal. The blood-soaked toy was later retrieved by forensics. Paris had killed them all. Then he sat down in the kitchen chair, wrote a short note, and drove the blade into his own chest. At 8:30 a.m., a tenant in the back unit called 911. "There's yelling in the house," he told dispatchers. "It sounds serious." Officers arrived at 8:34 a.m. They knocked, waited, no answer. Silence crept in. But thinking it was a minor dispute, they left after 10 minutes. At 9:15 a.m., the tenant called again, this time more frantic. Police re-entered the side door and stepped into a nightmare. The scene was later described as biblical in its horror. Blood tracked across the linoleum. Furniture overturned. A child's hair clip embedded in the wall. The entire family gone. The Honolulu police chief choked back tears during his press briefing. "This is not something we ever want to see. Not in our neighborhoods. Not ever." The news made national headlines. People who had once waved at the Odas at traffic lights or in Safeway aisles were now staring at their photos on candlelit altars. Sakurako's classmates gathered outside her high school and played her favorite song on violin. Her chair in orchestra remained empty for the rest of the year. Orion's science teacher posted one of the sketches online, a drawing of a spaceship orbiting Jupiter, with the caption, "One day I'll go there." Nana's ballet class held her recital in silence. Her pink slippers hung from the studio's wall. Psychologists weighed in on the case. The term was used, familicide, suicide, a rare but deeply destructive form of domestic violence. In over 80% of such cases, the perpetrator is male. The motive is financial despair or control, and the victims are immediate family. There were signs: financial collapse, isolation, secrecy. But no one thought it would lead to this. One retired Honolulu Police Department officer said, "We have a hard time intervening unless someone asks for help, but shame locks the door, and tragedy walks in." In the months that followed, the house on Manoa Road sat empty. Grass grew high. Tourists passed by, unaware of what had occurred. Then one day, quietly, a new family moved in. A year later, a plumiera tree bloomed at the gate, planted by a neighbor who refused to forget. Beneath it, a small bronze plaque, in loving memory of Nooko, Sakurako, Orion, and Nana. May your light shine where your lives were taken. What happened on that quiet Sunday wasn't a mystery or a thriller. It was a failure of silence. A man buried under guilt and fear, unable to reach out. A family caught in the blind spot of love and trust. We remember them not for how they died, but for how they lived. In laughter, in music, in bedtime stories and beach days, in chalk drawings and violin strings, in dreams unfulfilled, but never forgotten.